Hello, hi, it's George Lees again, trying to get back into activity and productivity as a video maker on world history, and I'm now in Dundee. It's amazing. Look at the view. That's McGonagall's bridge that fell down. I forget whether it was the one at the top of the river or the bottom of the river. That estuary is filled with dolphins. And this is, I'm standing on one of God's volcanic calderas. Yet you can see all around the provinces, all around this place. Yeah, and that, sickly, is the War Memorial for World War I. Yeah, it's a memorial to the town in which Winston Churchill was an MP. All of the Fleming banks were created here, and when we get to the other side you'll see that the massive, so let's go there, and I'm telling you about the Ian Fleming family that were the double agents in World War II. That tower is in memory of the Dundee men who fell in the Great War. That is the creation of Ian Fleming's financial enterprise company called Scottish Widows. Yeah, and it is really, really sick. Yeah, that is all of the treason, all of the double agency. I'll have to watch that I do not invade anybody's privacy. Let's take you to the other side of the town. And across there we have St Andrews, and that is Donald's golf course in America. That is the ownership of the hotel in St Andrews for Donald, and that is the non-existent St Andrew that is the basis for the Scottish flag and all of the Scottish nationalist parties' icons. Yeah, that is the treason that I've been reporting for 5 years since I came home from New Zealand, and Alex Salmond and Nicola Sturgeon got all of my news releases on all of the corrupted directorates and all of the economic scams all over Europe through my email system. Yeah, and that went also to Hillary Clinton, and that is the issue that was reported in the election and investigated by the CIA, that was run by the Bush family, that is related to the Percy family, and is in the bloodline which all of the American presidents are in. That is the Peel-Windsor Bush bloodline. Yeah, it cannot get worse. Okay, and they are absolutely cynical. That is Ian Fleming, yeah, that wrote the Bond novels, that launches Sean Connery into the tax havens, that laughs at the London Olympics jokes as he comes down in the parachute with the Queen, yeah, the illegitimate Queen, since those Hanoverian people, yeah, got involved with, that's blind Prince George of Cumbria and Hanover. Yeah, and that is blind Prince George of Teviotdale and Hanover. Yeah, that is the Hanoverian dynasty that had to change their name from Saxe-Coburg, yeah, to Windsor. And I'm going to show you that they're going to tumble. Yeah, we did not start with music today. Yeah, there's the rabbits, and that's what's going to happen to them all. Yeah, that's Winston Churchill. Yeah, the movie that Brian Cox has made. Yeah, there is the rabbit with its ears sticking up. That is the icon for Lagos. Yeah, Iago. Yeah, St John, Santiago, St John. None of the saints ever lived. Okay, and there is the telegraph towers that allow them to raise alarms that, yeah, we're going to have another war, yeah, and we're going to profit from it. Look at that massive tower, it's circumcised also. Yeah, do you see it? That is the jute factories that were funded by the Fleming banks. The jute factories were run by the Cox family and by the people that named the place where my sons were all together today with the Vash, yet the mother from Chipping Norton, that has exiled me from my own town where she now lives, yeah, based on her affiliation to those CIA, MI6 massive scandals that, and the people that I met on the train yesterday, yeah, confirmed for me that Boris Johnson's brother works for PricewaterhouseCoopers right next to the Parliament building in London and right next to or in the MI6 building. Yeah, that's Joe Johnson, Boris's little brother, a director at PricewaterhouseCoopers. That's the biggest directorates that I've ever seen in my life. So this is Dundee, and up there you have, so we're looking south now, I think, so that's down to where Montrose is, and that's the Earl of Montrose, who was caught up in those land grab battles between Rob Roy McGregor and the little Archie Cunningham stuff. Yeah, watch the Rob Roy McGregor movie. I cannot get anybody to confirm for me where Rob Roy's estates were that were robbed by the Redcoats, yeah, from the invading English armies that are actually invading German armies, yeah, with the French all pulled in so that the ordinary working man gets gunned down, and that is the launch of the rifles, yeah, and the arming of those armies of Christians who fight against each other all the time. Now the enemy is Islam, and all of it is the same joke. Okay, I cannot make the sun come out because it's really, really serious. Okay, thank you to my new safe house host, yeah, for giving me the safety of that, and for allowing me to attend Dundee at the same time as my sons have now confirmed that they will begin to talk to me again, provided I do not get too political in front of their new employers. Yeah, it's on the end of that massive hook that you have got to comply with all the toffee-nosed university traits, yeah, that are now leading to the debt pools for every one of those university students. And for once I feel sorry for the English people, yeah, because their students are being robbed of 75,000 a year, where our lot only get their grocery bills taken from them, yeah, and the cost of renting accommodation, and it is massive. And that's why I'm so grateful to my current host, but I'm not yet on the internet, and I'll get that fixed as quickly as I possibly can. So Winston Churchill, yeah, the people here are very, very friendly. I've got a massive hangover today, and I may be stammering a bit like the king. Yeah, they are very, very friendly, and I just saw a bat go past in open daylight. Yeah, that is the Batman jokes and all the jokes about that treason that we've told you before. Yeah, so that there is the jute factory run by Cox. Yeah, that's why Cox has made that massive film about Churchill. Churchill was the MP for Dundee, and what the spirited, friendly, working class people of Dundee did, because he was a tyrant and they realised it, was when he was in the city, they overturned his Rolls Royce with him in the car. And the sun's come out now. Yeah. And that is the role that Brian Cox plays. But let me tell you how that, and the naming of the hall in which my middle son received his degree this morning, was based on the owner of another jute factory in this town. That is the making of the sandbags for all of the great conflicts. Yet that is the making of that joke by Ian Fleming's ancestors, that this is the Scottish widows, and that none of these are our mountains. We're going to send you to the Tyrol, and we're going to kill you in uniform on the basis that we want your land and we want you out of here so that our sheep farming can flourish. Yeah, and this is the Nine Wells Hospital is down there somewhere. Yeah, and that is the 9 professions in this city that include the shoemaker profession. Yeah, and that joke goes all through fascist history, and you know most of it already. That is the replacement of the Father God by Pinocchio, the pie creation, yeah, who's the boy with no strings, who they know will never get back to heaven because he never existed, like St. Andrew and the Scottish flag. That's St. Andrew, who is the patron saint of 19 countries across the world and never ever took a breath. Okay, so what else is there? Charles Guthrie. Nobody knows about him. Yeah, Charles Guthrie is in Forfar, and I can't remember from my geography where that is. I think it's a little bit further north, between here and Abaddon, yeah, Aberdeen. These are the 4th and 5th biggest cities in Scotland, yeah, and it's quite a challenge for me to get around and learn the history. That's why I've come here, so I can summarise it all in one place. Okay, and everything is tainted with the same families. When you go to the museum that I went to this morning, it's right opposite the Thompson's publishing empire, that is the cartoons for the Beano and the Dandy, Dangerous Dan and all those characters, yeah, plug, that's the PLPI joke again, yeah, and I learned last night in the pub, and it's no surprise to me that the Roy Orbison is also in that Piso bloodline. I forget what the joke was, but they shared. Norman Wisdom is in it too, and all of the buffoons in world history and world comedy are in it. That is for the surviving relatives of Rudolf Hess, Jimmy Carr, and all of the people in those comedy teams, yeah, or in those musical bands, or in those pop bands, or in the clergy. All of those elite families run the whole world. Yeah, and in this city, the head Robinson of the healthcare system, yeah, for the SNP, she's here. I'm going to start arranging meetings with her to discuss some of the stuff that the doctors have revealed to me here. Yeah, that is the corrupted Scottish government that were prepared to section me. Yeah, I will not let them alone until they are brought to book. And I don't know who's going to do it. Yeah, but all of the people now are coming forward as if in a panic. Yeah, and even my wife hugged me this morning. Yeah, which is quite a dangerous gesture for me to engage in. Yeah, it is absolutely sickening. No one is loyal to anything that is decent. But thank you to the ordinary working men, yeah, and to those people up on the verges of those clouds for keeping the information flow coming. I think I'm going to stop now because it may be difficult for me to upload if I go any longer. Usually I make 1 hour 20-minute videos, but I've not got many facts here. So have I told you the links between the funding of the jute factories by the Fleming Bank, yeah, and nobody knows. Yeah, there are 2 Witherspoons in town. There's one old bank building. Nobody in this city knows, yeah, because it's the world's biggest war secrets that Ian Fleming, the double agent, the spy, the boss at Operation Winnie the Pooh, the boss at Operation Christopher Robin, yeah, all of them in league with Hitler, Rothschild, all of them inbred with Rothschild, yeah, and that is the sturgeon and the salmon joke, I believe. Yeah, it is massive. Every one of the world leaders are out this same cigar tube lineages, and it is absolutely sickening. Just talked to a Norwegian guy, yeah, who's telling me that the Norwegian oil well is just across the oceanic borderline from where he's come to in Scotland with the oil well vessel, yeah, and all of it is a massive carve up, and that is the forecourt scams, when all of that oil, especially if it's out there in the ocean where it cannot be attacked by the fracking mob, yeah, and depressurizing of the massive pressures under the earth that create renewable oil. Yeah, a little bit of salt, a little bit of the long chain hydrocarbons that are down there under the earth, and you get the different hydrocarbons, but you need high temperatures and high pressures. And if the fracking continues, yeah, and the open mining continues, all of that will wreck the future of our children. Yeah, and you can see that there's a massive mist hanging around the place. Thank you to the gods for the train trip I had yesterday up here through all of the land that I'm not allowed to live in now. Yeah, that is the beautiful border country, right the way up from Holy Island, yeah, right the way up past every beach that I have entertained my children on, and I'm not allowed to be with my children as they graduate, yeah, because of the vicious attack on me by global government, led by my wife, because she is a bimbo that is quite happy, yeah, to work for those Rothschild lineages that are her neighbours, and are the world-owning bloodline, who are the advisors to Her Royal Highness, and on and on and on it goes. Okay, so Charles Guthrie was NATO's field marshal in the Balkans, who got, that's the EU gets the peace prize for brutalising the Balkans, and Guthrie lives in Forfar, and they're now pretending for the man that was given a peerage by Tony Blair that he is, his company, which is run from his massive mansion in Forfar, has been defrauded by one of its employees. Yeah, and that's how Rupert Murdoch covers up the massive war crimes of everything that happens on the globe. And that is Charles Guthrie, that was elected one of Tony Blair's life peers, and he was on the NM Rothschild board through all of that Balkans conflict. And now we've got Macron in charge in France, and he is a Rothschild C banking magnate too. Yeah, all around the world, all of the aristocrats are still in charge. Yeah, and the people that I've talked to and gave me lifts up the hill here today, they do not know anything about the land ownership of any of that land that you can see all around here. Yeah, and they think that it's owned by the councils. Yeah, it's still owned by the aristocrats, it's still owned by the Black Douglases, the Red Douglases, the Dukes of Buccleuch, the Montgomery families, and all of those people that are on the Isles of Arran in the Aryan jerseys, yeah, and the Aryan master race people. And many of the factories in here were created by Harris. Yeah, there's another massive chimney, and there are the two stadia that are closer together than any other football stadia for hometown clubs. That's Dundee United and Dundee, and that is the 69 steps joke, the attempts to cover up the 39 steps joke, and all of the Freemasonic numbering that is the blight of the world. Yeah, and there are the windmills rotating at the far end of the city. Okay, last time I was here at a rugby match, the treasurer of Dundee Rugby Club was in the process of being buried, and today the flag at the celebration for the students, along with the rainfall as the gods look down on what is happening, the flag was at half-mast on top of the building. I don't know why. It's probably another terror attack. Yeah, launched into the news. Okay, thank you to Graham, my host, for hosting me. Okay. I'm going to stop, and it cannot get worse. And there are the Corbies, yeah, that has the stories by Shakespeare about the massive castles up in Glams that the British Royals use, and some of the people that I've met this morning are natives of. Okay, I'm going to stop because there's nothing really much to tell until I can start showing you the evidence again. Okay, but do you get it? That is the coxes that make the jute. That is the sandbags for every great conflict and every great biblical flood, God. Yeah, and that is the launch of Scottish Widows. Yeah, Ian Fleming at the hub. Not one of the citizens of this town knew that. Yeah, and my video's been out there for ages. Yeah, and all of them know that I've made those videos on Brian Cox and his massive business interests with Gloag. Yeah, I won't repeat that again. That is what has it's quite a sensational story that is the richest woman in Scotland, yeah, who has now removed the right of citizens to roam on her land, being in touch with the fat cat that is Cox the actor, and he was an ordinary working man, is the story. Yeah, do you get it? That is the Cox owners of the jutes, the double agents, and all of the people that get involved with the spying teams and intel, yeah, and Desmond Morton and the man from Uncle's spying films. Yeah, it is all the same families. And the museum story is that the usual suspects for Piso, that's the movie where the Virgil Kint is in the lineup, the owners and philanthropists who gifted the money for the Dundee Museum are called it was the same name as a Scottish boxer when I was a boy, and in the lineup the one of them is his name is McManus. Yeah, do you get it? So that is Mick McManus, the boxer from Dundee. The McManuses, the philanthropists that are part of the building of this massive crime syndicate for the elites, as the poor people get, yeah, just a token mention on the World War I thing. There is no memorial to World War II. Yeah, and that there, for a laugh, for against the gods again, is a sundial. They're very reluctant to light it up. Yeah, and it shows you all of the treasonous places all around. Yeah, Montrose and all of the places where the aristocrats are interested only in wealth divide. Okay, gonna stop. Yeah, I was hoping that it would be beautiful blue like yesterday, but no, it's not. Okay, bye bye.